I'm Shiva.
I'm Sandy.
And this is
Our Relaxing Hobby. Hello. Today we're going to talk about my favorite thing, breeding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. That's, me. That's just me. But anyway, intentional and unintentional, I guess, is just like humans.
Yeah. This is going to be the rated R version of our show. So.
I'm not rated R. No, we're going to keep it clean. For small children that watch our videos.
Yeah. I think we've passed that point a few episodes back.
I mean, I know we on our ropefish episode, I know we talked a little bit about you were trying to get your ropefish to breed, and you set up the tank perfectly for them and try to give them all the things that they want.
Yeah.
So go back and watch that one.
Yeah,
and that's what we talked about.
Well, that one's near impossible to breed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's our test subject, and then there's then the other unintentional breedings that you have here are the
6 little bundles of joy I've got in the pom-pom.
Well, the koi, and then there's the Plecos, which aren't supposed to breed in captivity easily either.
Yeah, we found
catfish. I don't know if those are easily bred in captivity or not, but we have those. I do guppies, which are very easy to breed.
The common goldfish.
The common goldfish. Yeah, all you got to do is literally put them together, and they're good to go. So
yeah. So
let's talk about. We did the ropefish. Let's talk about the unintentional breeding of the koi. I think we have some footage of that.
Yes, we did. I'll tell the story.
Okay.
Basically, with koi, it's hard to tell when they're going to be sexually mature.
And it's also hard to tell when the water temperature is correct and all the other factors that need to happen.
Well, there's only one big factor.
One huge factor we found out.
One huge factor.
We have really pretty plants.
Yes, we do.
That we wanted to put in the tank.
They float.
They float. They're very pretty. They have very pretty flowers. Shiva decided they were very pretty. We're going to throw some in the water.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah, we did. We threw a bunch of these floating plants into the water without, allowing the fish to be able to get to them. And they looked gorgeous for a day. Yeah, we got footage of that.
Yeah. And then the next day,
they were covered with thousands of eggs.
Thousands. I missed all this. I don't feel bad because I missed it.
Yeah, you feel bad because you didn't get video footage of me jumping in
That would be it. I wanted the video.
Fully clothed. Jumping in there, trying to pull plants as fast as possible to get all these eggs out of here.
She wasn't trying to breed the koi. She wasn't ready for all that.
Yeah, we don't have the room for 2,000 little koi. So I pulled all the plants out of there.
Scooped up as many of the eggs
Scooped up as many of the eggs as I could. Did missed 6 eggs that got into the sump. And 10 days later, we got these itty bitty little white fish.
Which we have video of the babies.
Yes, we do. We have video of the babies.
Yeah.
And
the oops babies.
Yeah. The funny thing is that in that bunch we have a gimp and we have a bachi. So we have 2 that are actually defective that shouldn't have lived but did.
Right.
So it's actually
all
very
6
surprising that all 6 lived.
And now 5 out of 6 are huge already. They're growing. I mean, she is Ebby is a little bit of a gimp, but she gets along fine. She has one broken fin, but she's always had it.
Yeah.
And then Hibachi's the midget, or whatever we call him.
Yeah.
The runt.
So we managed to raise these 6 koi from being newborns to being
eggs.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So we know the big thing with koi is do not put plants ever.
Yeah, don't put anything that they can breed against, and that would include I've heard of people who sometimes will force, if their fish are getting frisky, they'll put in mop heads for a day.
Right, mop heads are a big thing I've heard.
Right.
I have heard about that.
Put mop heads in for a day, let them lay the eggs, and then take the mop heads out, you're good. But as I learned with the plants, you can't necessarily stop a few eggs from shaking loose and getting into your sump. The next thing you know, you got some unexpected guests. You can separate.
But they were very cute guests.
Yeah. You can separate the boys from the girls, but that's not always foolproof. We've got the one big one. We've got Ure, who we were
convinced was a girl, but he's not. He's a boy.
Yeah, we found out pretty
fast. And he's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's bigger than any boy I've seen that I expected. Because with
really,
boy, well, I don't get around much.
And that gutter is coming out. Censored.
It's like, let's talk about boys.
We're talking about boy fish.
Oh darn, I'm not
Yeah.
interested in those.
I know.
But anyway, but no, he's a much larger fish than expected for a boy.
Yeah, he grew really
He grew
fast.
yeah. Right.
And
So
we were pretty sure
assumed
he
he
was
was a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, he showed us.
Okay. So we kind of covered koi a little bit, and then now.
Well, we do need to talk about when it comes to the breeding behavior, how they beat each other up. Because remember,
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that. Okay. Yeah. They're bullies.
With carp in general, because we have the same problem with goldfish.
Rough sex.
Rough sex. So like right after that accidental breeding session we had at the koi, we had to take Kieran, who's one of our older females, out for a couple days.
Yeah.
Because she had gotten beaten up really hard.
They push them into corners. They. It's really an aggressive breeding.
We have had a female goldfish die from it. We've had one that got beat up so bad that she died.
Right.
So pretty much carp, they're like Klingon sex. They're just they can be brutal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you are planning on intentionally breeding your koi,
Be ready for that.
Try not to do it with all of them. Most people will separate the two specimens they want, keep them in a separate container. Throw some plants or mop head in there, leave them alone for a day, and then take them immediately out afterwards once they're done with their business. Probably the safest way to do. Since ours was, accidental, we had the whole school going at it, and that was like a shark breeding frenzy.
Yeah. We're gonna have to, one day we're gonna have to like do it just like I told her, we're gonna have to tease and just throw some plants in there and just get it on video and then pull the plants out and go, haha.
Yeah. and we'll ignore the 8 or 9 eggs we'll miss on that one.
Oops.
Well, eventually I do want to try to breed like geisha and yagori and try to go for the jet black Harasu butterflies. But that'll be a couple years down the line. So keep watching, and eventually we'll show you how we're going to control breed.
Try to control breed. What if they don't like each other?
Well, if they don't like each other, we still get Shinigami.
All right, fine.
But they seem to like each other.
Okay, we hope.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So that was koi and goldfish are pretty much
goldfish are the same thing. Yeah, and then let's do the Plecos, I guess, next.
Okay. I'm gonna wait my nose real quick. Okay.
Okay, let's do Plecos. Plecos are a little different. They're shy and reserved and don't normally breed well in captivity, they told you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's true because I've seen it a lot in my tank, your tank, a friend's tank.
I think that I'm talking more about common Plecos when they talk about...
Oh, okay.
Most people, when they talk about Plecos, they think of the common Plecos, which are the big ones. As far as I know, we haven't had any breeder common Plecos, but that's as far as I know. I've got 2 out there that I don't know for sure.
We have the bristlenose is what we have.
Yeah,
or the bushy nose, whatever they call them.
For aquariums, we have bristlenose.
Right.
And we've had an amazing amount of luck with getting them to breed.
Yeah. Literally, you put in a cave or a temple or a set of rocks, which we'll show you, and you leave a male and a female alone, and then they breed, and then the male takes care of all the babies, which is great.
Yes.
I want to be them. She goes in and lays eggs, leaves, and he does everything else.
Yeah, it basically...
To his own detriment. He will literally sit in there and starve himself to take care of these babies.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you are intentionally breeding, like the designer Plecos is what they call them. The bristlenose, all the fancy little Plecos that don't get more than 6 inches.
Right.
The designer Plecos. You have to keep an eye on them because if you have a male and female together and then you notice that the male isn't coming out of any type
disappears
of
for any length of time,
chances are he's taking care of a clutch of eggs. You do have to watch him. You need to make sure that there's food near the entrance of wherever this is, because he will literally just poke his head out, grab food, and go back in.
If he can't get to it inside the same structure, he won't go to it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave the eggs. He's protecting them.
Right. So we've...
Not sure what he's doing, but he's protecting the eggs.
Well, he's fanning the eggs.
Right. Okay.
He keeps water going over the eggs until they hatch, and then he stays with them for a while until they get big enough.
Right? Yeah. Which is really cute and adorable.
Yeah, baby Plecos are adorable. They look like tadpoles. In fact, that's what we thought they were.
We thought they were tadpoles, yes we did.
The first time it happened, we thought they were tadpoles. And it's like, wait a minute, they have markings of Plecos.
Right.
But baby Plecos are fine. Now, we have had that weird thing where a lot of them die all of a sudden.
Right, which we still don't know what that is.
Yeah, there's a mystery thing going on that nobody's been able to really explain.
Yeah, we did some research. I did some research on Google because it happened. They literally, like, overnight, with everything in the conditions of the water, everything was perfect. Because I checked mine, you checked yours. And literally all of them just died. And they're the young ones, not the adults. I mean, none of my adults...
Well, I had 2 adults.
You had 2, okay, but mine, all the young ones. And literally, some of them are perfectly fine. And then the rest, the whole clutch dies. Like, all of them.
So it's kind of a mystery. So you always have that 50-50 chance that that's going to happen. Because we've gone through times where We have had several clutches that
No
were
problem.
fine,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden one of them will do it.
Yeah,
So
not
be
sure what that
prepared
is. We
for
haven't, yeah, so I mean, it happens.
If we ever find out what that is, believe
We
me,
will,
we'll do an
we'll do a
episode.
fish bite on that one and let them know.
Oh, well, no, we'll do a full episode. Hey, we have solved the mystery. What the
Yeah,
hell's
because
going
all the
on?
water levels, everything was good, we checked everything several times and we couldn't figure that one out.
Now, another thing with baby plecos is you can't keep them with larger fish.
No, because they're edible.
And because you end up with like Bonnie.
Well, Bonnie ate one. She was hungry because she would never feeds her fish unless I come over.
Yeah, if you're gonna raise plecos, keep them away from any type
Larger
of
fish.
larger fish that are like omnivorous. We had a Bonnie who I have footage of, see, who decided she was gonna try to eat a baby pleco and it got stuck in her mouth. And when
Can't
that
pull it out.
happens, you can't pull them out because
The fins, the
sharp
sharp
spines.
Yeah.
So we had to literally sit here and hope that it disintegrated before she starved to death.
Took about what, 2 weeks?
About 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks, yeah. It was really ugly and horrible and disgusting.
It was terrible to look at. You just, it was like, oh God, Bonnie, don't look at us. But she survived the ordeal. The baby pleco didn't, but she survived the ordeal.
Yeah, so you don't want to put it in with the bigger fish. You want to keep them separated if you can to some extent.
Yeah, so if you're raising baby plecos, keep them in their own tank until they're large enough to not be considered edible by other fish. Otherwise, if some of the other smaller fish would have tried that, it probably would have killed the smaller fish. So.
Right.
So
And then-
keep your baby plecos separate.
And then there's the
Cories.
catfish, the Cories,
Cories.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you have different
Cory-
kinds of Cories. Cories
yes.
breed a little easier, I'm
Yeah,
understanding.
Cory catfish, people use them to clean the bottom of their tanks. They usually come in and you usually get little schools of like 5 or 6 of them. Keep them in the bottom of the tanks. There's several different types. We have spotted Cories and emerald Cories.
Right.
We've had both of them breed. Basically, getting them to breed is really easy. Throw a bunch of them into an aquarium and wait. If you don't want a aquarium full of Cories, the best thing to do is to make sure that you have some sort of fish in your aquarium that will eat the eggs. This will include like the ghost shrimp.
Yeah. Definitely ghost shrimp. They cleaned out mine in an hour.
Any type of carp, goldfish,
Okay.
things like that.
Guppies. Well, my
will do
guppies
it.
did. My guppies did, definitely.
And we have 2 blue rams in there.
Yeah,
to
my
take care
rams
of
did.
ours.
My rams did, but not as much as your rams did for some reason.
Right.
My guppies did. The tetras do not.
Yeah.
Tetras could
won't.
care less. Any of my tetras, resboras do not.
No.
So you definitely want something. If you don't want the eggs, or if you don't, you can scrape them out of the tank as
Yeah,
well.
but you can't guarantee that you're
Can't guarantee
get
get all of them, but at least you get the majority.
Right. So that's how you handle that. I'm going to let you talk about guppies because I don't have
Well,
guppies.
guppies are awesome little fish. They're live breeders. There's not much effort. Again, you put a male with usually 4 to 5 females per male. If you put too many males in there together, they will fight, and they will fight a lot if they don't have the right space. A 20-gallon tank, I usually have 2 males. Usually a 10-gallon tank, 1 male to at least 4 to 5 females. Or if depending on how many fish you have. I have 2 males right now and probably, I don't know, 10, 15 females. And they live breed. So you get to watch the females growing larger, like and then you get to watch the little baby eyes. You get to watch the little babies grow up. And the babies hide as long as you have to have some vegetation or somewhere they can hide. Vegetation is preferable, somewhere they can get away from the fish. Almost every fish, including the other guppies, will eat the babies. It is literally survival of the fittest. Now you can buy a breeding tank and put the mom in there and let the babies live in there, and I've never had any luck with it. They've always all died, or most of them died. I didn't like it. I prefer the survival of the fittest, and I just put a lot of plants, either floating at the top, put the plants at the bottom, a lot of little rocks they can hide in, places that they can hide, and usually at least half of them live. And it's really cute, and you get to pick your colors because the mom and the dad, they'll have different colored babies. It's really cool. It's something I enjoy. They're very easy to breed. There's no trick to it, honestly. Literally, if you want the babies to live, you just literally have to have somewhere for them to hide, because all the other fish, every other fish in your tank will try to eat them except for the plecos.
Right.
And I don't know that the Cories eat them.
No,
I don't think so, yeah.
Cories do.
I don't think the Cories do, but every other fish in your tank, every single other fish will want to eat those little babies. They're very tiny, they're much smaller than tadpoles.
And apparently they're delicious.
They're very minuscule, and the fish are all cannibals. And it's kind of funny to watch them swim around, but there are you can put breeding boxes in there. I've seen people with those. I've never had any luck with them. Maybe you will. I did not. They have floating breeding tanks you can put in there. I've never used one, so I don't really know a lot about those. But guppies are like the easiest fish to breed in the world, and they're really cool to watch the little babies with the different colors. That's just me.
Alright, so let's tell them what to do with unwanted babies, the humane way, not the way that other people do it.
Survival of the fittest? You just let the other fish eat them? Oh,
No,
sorry.
no. What a lot of people do if they end up with a bunch of unwanted babies is that they toss them. They
Oh,
kill them.
yeah, see, I can't do that.
Yeah, well, I can't do that either. It's like, okay, you know, we're pro-life here. So,
Unless they're sick, and then Sandy's all about flushing, but that's okay. Go ahead.
yeah, and Shiva usually gets
Yeah.
half of them to live.
And Shiva gets them all to live. I don't even know, but go ahead.
Yeah. But what we do is if you find mom and pop aquariums and whatnot, or pet
Yes.
stores,
Yeah.
usually you can trade.
Yeah.
You can trade for food. They'll usually, give you
Credit of some type.
some sort of credit.
Yeah, we're not talking PetSmart and all the major,
We're talking
chains. We're
mom
talking
and
little
pop.
mom and pop pet stores.
Pet stores.
I have one by me that will take the guppy babies. Sometimes, sometimes they can't, but 9 times out of 10 they'll take the younger guppies off your hands and give me a credit. It's not much, and I know you with the goldfish.
Oh yeah.
We're
And
getting
the
significant
goldfish,
credit.
Yeah, the goldfish, the plecos.
Yeah, the Pleco babies are really
I-
in demand.
Yeah, and they are hoping that I get the ropefish to
Right,
breed.
right.
They get the ropefish to breed, I'm gonna actually.
And
get
the
a
rams,
license.
if you're able to get the rams to breed.
Right, but they usually take my goldfish. They'll take the plecos. Now goldfish, if you have the small ones, you're not gonna get much because those are feeder fish. But the ones I'm talking about, I let them get to about 8 inches before I
Yeah.
give them. That's a
6 to
different
8
story.
inches, yeah. It's,
But basically, if you find a mom and pop pet store, usually they will trade, your fish for credit, store credit, which you can use to buy.
not cash. They don't do cash.
Yeah, they can't.
But they will give you credit.
Yeah, they can't do cash, and we'll get
Right.
into that in a minute. But they can give you store credit, so you can buy your food that way, you can buy extra pumps, you can buy whatever you need. Just, we kind of breed to support the hobby.
For a while, it was accidental and there were a lot of breeding, and then we found out that the fish store will take those larger goldfish, so Shiva was able to cull her herd. I guess that's not school. Her school.
My school.
Cull her herd.
Call the school pretty easily.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, if we decide to get into this more professionally, then we'd have to go and get a breeding license. And there's a whole, depending on where you live, like you're in Florida, they're terrified that you're going to put a non-indigenous species into the water and it's going to, wreck the environment. So there's a lot of rules and regulations. I think some states, depending on your state, there are different rules.
Right.
Eventually, we'll start thinking about maybe getting a license to breed, especially if we can get those ropefish to breed. The minute those ropefish start breeding, we're getting the license.
Right. You can actually make real money.
Because you can make some decent money. Same with koi.
Right.
Breeding the nicer koi and whatnot, yeah. If we start getting into breeding the nicer koi, then we'll get the license and start being a little bit more serious. Once you get your license, that's when you actually start making full hard cash with them. But as hobbyists right now, trading for store credit in order to buy stuff works great.
Works, yeah.
I mean, we've saved a lot of money by
Yeah.
just, passing off the babies. We raise them to the point where they're good on
Safe.
their own,
Yeah.
and then trade them in.
Yep. All right. Well, you want to show them a little bit of fish? I don't know if you have any breeding. We have a little bit of breeding, don't we?
Yeah, we have a little bit of breeding, and we've got a lot of breeding behavior.
Okay.
And then we've got some footage of some of the newborns.
Okay.
So we'll show you that.
Well, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.